Welcome back everybody, King Bullet here. Today I would like to welcome a new guest to the channel. Say hi Anime-Wrld.
Hey, it's Anime-Wrld, what's up?
So this guy makes Naruto content that you guys will definitely enjoy, so don't forget to check out his channel. So today's video is about who wins in a fight between Momoshiki and Kaguya. By the way, some of you guys watch my content but you haven't subscribed, so don't forget to sub to me and also like my video. If you want to become a member, you can do that as well. That'll be linked in the description. So let's get right into this video. How strong is Kaguya? I think Kaguya is up as one of the strongest antagonists, if not the strongest antagonists in Naruto Shippuden. Would you agree with that, Anime-Wrld?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so according to the Sage of Six Paths, Kaguya was stronger than himself, so she's definitely this like really powerful character who is meant to be above the Sage of Six Paths himself.
Yeah.
So she had like far greater chakra than Madara himself. Obviously, when Kaguya was first introduced, Sasuke himself literally stated Kaguya's got so much chakra he couldn't even believe she existed.
Yeah, he stated that her chakra was far greater than even Madara's. And that's shown very clear when they start fighting, that they're not really able to compete very well with Kaguya, versus previously when they were fighting Madara, they were able to easily manhandle Madara, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's clearly a level gap between Kaguya and Madara, chakra-wise at the very least, and we know it can also relate into durability as well. Kaguya had so much chakra that Madara couldn't control it. Madara almost imploded when it first entered his body. Kaguya could just walk around like it's nothing, so there's definitely like a level gap between them. Anyway, this moves us on to how fast we think Kaguya is. I think it's fair to say that she should be faster than teenage Six Paths Naruto. We were talking about this before the actual recording. We were saying how much faster is Kaguya than Naruto. There was one point where Kaguya was easily blitzing and outspeeding Naruto. However, as the fight progressed, Naruto got stronger, or at least amped his speed, and he was capable of keeping up with Kaguya at some parts. I think he's definitely slower than Kaguya, but I think they're in the same realm of speed. Would you agree with that, Anime-Wrld?
Yeah, they're definitely able to like briefly tag her here and there. Obviously, she is blatantly faster than they are, but not to the point where she outright kills them immediately. Otherwise, she would have done that already, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Now that we got an understanding of how strong Kaguya is, what kind of feats does she have? The expanding Trip-Seeking Orb where she consumes her entire dimension. We were talking about this pre-recording as well. It's not inherently like this destruction feat. It's more of a chakra feat because she's essentially feeding a lot of chakra into this Trip-Seeking Orb and consuming this entire dimension. She couldn't technically use this against Momoshiki either, because if she did use this, all Momoshiki would have to do is teleport. He can literally use time-space ninjutsu, leave her dimension at any point. So it's not the most insane thing, but it does relate into Kaguya's durability somewhat, since technically Kaguya doesn't explode despite having all of his chakra.
Yeah, this feat doesn't hold a lot of weight here, but more so her chakra and her durability. If you just isolate that feat by itself, it is a great feat, but it's just not going to translate over very well into this fight itself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think she could use it against Momoshiki. Obviously, that section was a little bit short. We can now talk about Momoshiki and how strong he is. Narratively speaking, at the beginning of the Boruto series, Sasuke observes that Kaguya was building an army. He hypothesizes that Kaguya was doing this because she feared the arrival of beings who are greater than her or stronger than her. Of course, this was a hypothesis and Sasuke doesn't know the full context behind Kaguya's actions. However, Sasuke manages to find one of Kaguya's scrolls, which he can't read at this point with his dojutsu. Once it's decoded by the Cypher team, Sasuke confirms directly that his hypothesis and suspicions were indeed correct, meaning that there is a threat beyond Kaguya.
So there's multiple statements to back this up. This isn't just like a one statement kind of taken out of context. It is pretty evident that Kaguya was scared of these people coming back. That's why she was building an army, because she couldn't take him on by herself, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a little bit convoluted who she feared exactly. A lot of people think that she feared the arrival of an entire clan collectively who are stronger than her. However, this is verbatim wrong. It's never implied she expected the entire clan to come for her, but it is implied that it was only Momoshiki and Kinshiki she feared, since it's literally stated by Sasuke that the pair was arriving, Kinshiki and Momoshiki, the ones she feared according to the scroll. So she'd written this down. She even named them in the scroll, like it's a Death Note or some shit. Hence Sasuke now knows the pair's names. He mentions that the smaller one's name is Momoshiki and the larger one's name is Kinshiki.
Yeah, and they're always referred to as plural, as in like two of them. It's never mentioned that there's one that she fears more than the other. If anything, that they're all threats above her, you know what I'm saying?
And the term pair itself means two people, so there's no way around it really. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Did Kaguya fear them or the pair's fusion in particular? Some people believe that she feared the two-way fusion between these two, since she might know about the fusion. However, Kaguya never mentions the fusion in the scroll, and despite the fusion being a law of the clan, apparently, according to Momoshiki, we can't say with 100% certainty she knew about this law. The same way I doubt you or every viewer knows every single law in the constitution, right? We have no idea of saying. It's a little bit ambiguous. Unfortunately, in the Boruto movie novelization, it is kind of confirmed. According to the scroll, Kaguya couldn't face the two individually, so there's no fusion mentioned at all, and we can't really imply implied there was going to be a fusion between them. Considering Kinshiki only swings an axe and Momoshiki kind of absorbs jutsu, and he's mainly like a potency-based fighter, Kaguya kind of lacked the power to contend with them. She most likely planned to defeat them by escaping the pair using the Zetsu, hence she was building an army. And we know that the Zetsu have shape-shifting abilities, mutation properties, so she was mainly relying on that. She knew she couldn't really contend with them hand-to-hand per se.
Yep.
Did Kaguya fear a hypothetically stronger Momoshiki? Since there's been a lot of time that's passed, right? So potentially Momoshiki could have got stronger, and that's what she feared, the fact that Momoshiki could get stronger. Now, Kaguya has always feared them, and she's planned on making an army straight away. When she arrived on Earth, she wanted to make an army, right? And she also immediately wanted to make an army, even after, like, being revived. So she definitely feared them at every point, implying that Momoshiki was currently stronger than her, and stronger than her in the past as well.
But it goes both ways. Like, if you're assuming that maybe Kaguya feared a stronger Momoshiki, you could say the same thing. Oh, what if she feared the weaker Momoshiki that she knew in the past? If anything, she was scared of that Momoshiki that she knew. That Momoshiki was able to gain more powerful with time, but she wouldn't know that.
You know what? She was so afraid that she's willing to sacrifice her children for this cause. Now that's true fair. This is base Momoshiki we're talking about. We're not even talking about fused Momoshiki yet. So he's definitely at least relative to this Kaguya, if I'm being completely honest. And this moves us on to what kind of destruction feats Momoshiki has. So we know according to the anime, Momoshiki can create realms with multiple stars in it. If you've read the novels, he's also capable of potentially creating hyperspaces. We also know in the third Boruto novel, Momoshiki can cause supernovas, destroy worlds without even breaking a sweat. So no wonder he thinks he can, according to the anime, punish Kaguya and bring her back to the clan by himself. And that confirms Momoshiki should physically be stronger than Kaguya in only his base form. But I think it's fair to say they're at least in the same tier of power.
Yeah, all these feats that were done in the novels was obviously done previous to him being fused, and obviously he becomes much more powerful after becoming fused. It's kind of a stretch to say that, like, people who think that the Kaguya blitzes or Kaguya's just blatantly more powerful. All the feats that Kaguya has, especially her most destructive ones with the universe, Momoshiki has similar ones in the novel as well. So it doesn't hold a lot of weight just to say that, you know, Kaguya is just blatantly more powerful because of X, you know what I mean?
Yeah, how strong is fused Momoshiki? We know he should be stronger than Kaguya already in his base form, and he's roughly around the same level as the new era Kage since they were pushing him, they're causing him to move back. And also we know in the novels he stated that a lot of the Kage, especially the two strongest Kage, Gaara and Darawi, they were first class in almost every stat, so he's definitely being pushed by them, and we know they're around the same level as him, at least physically speaking.
And Kinshiki was also able to be temporarily restrained.
Yeah, so they're definitely in the same tier of power, and we know base Momoshiki is around that power as well. But we know after fusing with Kinshiki, he's literally capable of taking these Kaguya out with singular strikes, so he's got almost a one-shot level stronger. He's also capable of easily outspeeding them, nearly blitzing them, so this fusion gives him a large amp. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Like, they were all down like 10 seconds later.
Exactly.
Gaara was able to stop him for like 1 second and then just got one-shotted. It was bad.
So how fast is Momoshiki? We know in his base form he should be at least as fast as Kaguya. Then he obviously gets a blitz level faster. He's also roughly as fast as adult 6 paths Naruto, who is faster than when he fought Kaguya in the past.
Exactly. He also, because he got stronger with time, like many years of training, on top of the fact that he gets more used to his abilities, and he has both halves of Kurama, which he didn't have in the past.
And if you're using the novels, just like Kaguya, Momoshiki should be as fast as his own chakra. This is more of a feat, I guess. So we know his chakra can travel from beyond his dimension all the way to him in a very short amount of time, which is pretty impressive, I would say. Both characters have similar feats. I think Kaguya does this, where her chakra travels from the normal universe to her dimension.
I mean, you could use the stone wall with the Otsutsuki symbols on it. You could use that to kind of justify that, because on there, Momoshiki and Kaguya are both at different spectrums of their own pairs, but they're both equal on the wall. And that is pre-fusion, but post-fusion, obviously, things change a lot.
It's funny you mentioned that, because we're going to talk about Kaguya's pair now. There's one feat people like to use in particular, especially Kaguya defenders, and that is Kaguya stronger than Ishiki? In a last-ditch effort, Kaguya defenders say that she was the most powerful character in the series because she was capable of harming Ishiki and leaving him on the verge of death, apparently, cutting his body in half.
There's so much wrong with this. Well, first of all, if that was true, then we wouldn't even see a fight with Naruto, Sasuke, and Kaguya. That wouldn't even be a fight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If Kaguya was stronger than Ishiki, like, you blink your eyes and they're all dead. Like, everybody's dead, Kaguya wins, Infinite Tsukiyomi.
This is Ishiki 1000 years ago, so we can't say with 100% certainty he was this certain level. Taking over somebody's body using the karma, using them as a vessel, does make you stronger, so we can't say that was the same Ishiki from a past. It's very convoluted and very ambiguous.
She also did catch him off guard, was already ranked lower than he was, and typically we know that when Otsutsuki is ranked lower, they're generally seen as weaker and inferior, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense to say that Kaguya is blatantly stronger, otherwise she wouldn't need to catch him off guard, you know what I mean? If she was stronger, she would just fight him and win, but she needed to catch him off guard in order to win.
Yeah. you're still using your normal durability. However, in Naruto, a lot of characters can switch off their chakra and be harmed by much weaker characters. Take Kakashi in his novel. We know when he switches off his chakra, he's capable of being beat up by random ninja. So in this case, people might be wondering, we all know about the classic Sakura and Kaguya case where Kaguya may have been caught off guard, but it's not really the same thing. Kaguya didn't really switch off her chakra in that situation exactly, so totally different examples.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. She was still in fight mode, you know what I mean? She was still ready to fight, so obviously she wouldn't be like not using her chakra in that moment. Not using your chakra would probably be, you know, when you were at Ichiraku Ramen just sitting there, you know, having a bowl of soup or something. You know what I mean? That's when you're not using any chakra. But when you're in the middle of a fight, it doesn't make sense to say that you're not using any of your chakra.
And you know what? Ishiki probably was chilling because we know they were on the same side. They're literally a pair and they're both trying to accomplish a mission. So he's probably just chilling, walking down the street, and then out of nowhere, Kaguya just comes out, slashes him in half. So it's not really a fair feat to use.
And I mean, if you think about it, there's no real threats on this planet at the time of their arrival at all. They're just chilling, you know what I mean? They're not ready to fight or anything.
I guess that moves us on to abilities, right?
She has nature manipulation. She's able to control the terrain and with their space-time ninjutsu and bring them to other worlds as they're fighting. Some of them have significantly higher gravity.
It's something I want to mention with the whole nature manipulation, right? So it's actually stated she has like this perfect control over nature when it comes to her dimensions. For example, when she freezes them in ice, that's not normal ice because we know these characters are easily capable of breaking ice purely based off the fact that they can destroy planets, etc. So this is not normal ice, and it's the same with the lava. The lava is capable of melting them. So this isn't just normal elements. She's capable of controlling the causality within these worlds, and she's capable of amping these elements, for example.
Yeah, in her realms. That's why she brought them to it in the first place, because she has complete control there.
This kind of moves us on to the truth-seeking orbs she has. We know truth-seeking orbs are superior to particle style, at least according to Hiruzen, so they're capable of at least destroying you on a molecular level. We also know she can delete her dimensions when she's like consuming all of her dimensions using one giant truth-seeking orb. I think the best thing about it is if you can't really leave the dimension, there's nothing you can do about it. It literally resets time and space of that dimension.
That brings us to the ash bones. We see this a couple times where she's able to create projectile bones from her body, and it's supposed to turn you to ash. It's supposed to be like a one-hit KO, and I believe we do see this when she hits Obito with it as well.
There's a statement directly in the 4th dialogue that says if you're hit by the ash bones, no matter how durable you are, you will be turned into ash. Essentially, once it hits you, it spreads around your body and just disintegrates it and turns you into ash. So it's a pretty powerful ability I do think Momoshiki has to be wary of if he is hit by it. And we know she's capable of using this very efficiently alongside her time-space ninjutsu. She can teleport bones around, etc. So she is quite sneaky with them. I guess that brings us on to Momoshiki's abilities. We know that he can also absorb chakra like Kaguya using the Rinnegan. However, Momoshiki can also absorb ninjutsu, however reflect it more than twice as strong. He could probably do it stronger than 2 times, since we know in the novels, you know that final Rasengan he uses against Boruto, apparently that's meant to be Konohamaru's Rasengan he absorbed earlier, but he just amped it many times over.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I remember when he initially released it, I think he says something like, how about 2 times when he did it in the tuning exam stage. So just that statement itself implies that he could do more than that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he has control over it, essentially. We also know he's capable of turning people, or at least Otsutsuki, into chakra fruits. So it's like transmutation, essentially. We don't know if this works on anyone. It might be something he can only do on Otsutsuki. People are a little bit confused because it's kind of implied that you can only do it to people who are willing to sacrifice themselves. Now I think about it, it's never directly stated that's the case. It's definitely a really interesting feat which he could use, and if he were to turn Kaguya into a fruit, he could potentially eat that fruit and take all of her power, which would just make him even more powerful, if anything.
Yeah, that would also be like a one-hit KO. If one could turn the other one into a fruit, it would definitely be Momoshiki turning Kaguya into a fruit, because even if you look at them within their own pairs, you know, Momoshiki is ranked higher than Kaguya. Kaguya being below Ishiki and Momoshiki being above Kinshiki, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think Kaguya could turn him into a fruit because we're not sure if Kaguya can do this. It seems to be something at least exclusive to Momoshiki as far as we've seen. Maybe other Otsutsuki can do it, but they've never really shown that they can do it. And I think it would be a little bit unfair and charitable to say they could all do it.
Yeah.
Another ability Momoshiki has is the ability to use absolute zero ice, which basically freezes you regardless of how durable you are. We know this is a one-hit KO as well because essentially once something hits absolute zero, it destroys the bonds between your atoms and freezes you like on an atomic level, and it causes your atoms to actually erode. So there's no way of really tanking this unless you've tanked something that cold before.
Momoshiki seems to have this ability where he can stop time. From what I recall, it can only happen when he's given someone the karma or if he's seeing like a projection of him, right? In one of the most recent chapters, I forget which one it is, I think it's like 60 something, I want to say. This happens again and he sees a projection of Momoshiki in the trees. Same thing happens when he initially gets the karma, time seems to stop. Nobody really sees this happen. Nobody sees the interaction that Boruto has with with Momoshiki, but I don't think this would really affect the fight too much because it seems to only happen to people who have the karma seal implanted into themselves.
No, I would agree with that. I think we're not exactly sure if it works on purely people with karma. Like, if he could use it on people who didn't have a karma, he would have done it on Naruto and Sasuke. The fact that he doesn't does make it a little bit more ambiguous, I guess. And we also know in the most recent chapter, he can't stop time when it comes to the real world. It's not just this mental plane it happens on, since when he does it in the most recent chapter, we see everything around him freeze. We see everybody freeze.
Or if it's like, we can use that in like combat, because we didn't really see any interaction between like, you know, Boruto attacking any characters while time was seemingly stopped. That's a lot of speculation. It's very ambiguous. So I think it's just safe to assume in a fighting scenario, that wouldn't really be too much of a factor. Otherwise, like you said, he would have already used it, because if that's true, if he could use that in the middle of a fight, he would have 100% taken advantage of that ability.
Like, dude, it sounds so broken. If you could literally freeze time, I'm sure you would just use it whenever you wanted, especially when you're gonna die, or like in situations where you're fighting really strong opponents.
Oh yeah, you would think that when you're in the verge of death, that would be your go-to ability.
So that brings us on to our conclusion. Who do you think wins this fight, if it isn't clear already?
Oh my goodness, there's just so much statements, there's so much lore, there's so many feats to just imply Momoshiki. If you're saying Kaguya, honestly, at this point, you're really nitpicking. I would love to hear any other arguments that we haven't heard for Kaguya, but...
Yeah, I agree as well, if I haven't made it clear already. Only because, scaling-wise, Momoshiki has a better scaling consistently. Even feat-wise, he has a better scaling consistently. Everything suggests that Momoshiki wins this fight in base, let alone when he's fused. When he's fused, I don't think it should be any controversy. Maybe in base, like, you could argue that Kaguya has better abilities. I do think Kaguya might have a slight edge when it comes to abilities, but Momoshiki has some pretty good abilities himself, and he's just drastically stronger and faster, so I don't know why he wouldn't win. If you guys disagree, then you can let me know why in the comment section. Guys, don't forget to sub and like. Don't forget to take a look at Anime-World's channel. Makes Naruto-based content, and I'm sure you'll love his content. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Thank you for watching this video, and peace out.